What's up, guys? So today is officially, I hope this is the official first episode ever of our podcast, which is called Something
Something with
Afternoon.
afternoon.
So my name is Haziq.
And my name is Nezwan Hamza. Nice to meet you, the
So,
viewers.
so basically, we are doing this podcast, right? Just to fill our time during this quarantine time, during this time where nothing is actually going on in our life. We got nothing to do until what month, Nezwan? Until what month are we
I'm
still?
not sure.
Until
The last month. The last month.
before we go to degree. What month is that? October, I think.
What do you mean?
The month where we go for our degree education. It's
Oh,
October, right?
it should be on October.
Yeah. So we got like 3 months span of doing this thing. So basically, I
If
got
we
lost.
assume,
Yeah.
if we assume today is July, so we go July, August, September. Yeah, 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
So it's better be worth our while. So yeah, something with afternoon. Oi, I'm so nervous
Afternoon.
to do our first podcast ever. So basically, what do we want to talk about today, Nezwan? I have no clue actually.
So today we're gonna talk about 3 topics.
Yeah,
First is about vacation,
vacation,
our
that's right.
favorite places to holiday, and also I think the second topic is about teenagers,
Yes.
our own experience as teenagers, and the relation of teenagers and employment. And last topic is about Enkel, our own experience studying at UATM Enkel.
Yeah, we are still qualified to talk about our teenage experience, I think so, because we're still a teen to be technical
Yeah,
about it. We're still
yeah,
19, so
yeah.
it makes
According
sense.
to the international youth age, you are still a teenager.
Yeah.
You are still a teenager.
Got 1 year left, but we still technically are. So
Maybe we can assume ourselves as young adult. Maybe.
yes,
Uh,
we should write a novel about it. So
Continue
go
on.
ahead, Ezwan, start the topic. Then
Okay. Since Malaysia has loosened the rules and regulations about people having vacations, so I think there is no problem for me and Haziq to talk about vacations, right? So, like myself, I also very keen to have a holiday, to go holiday, but still the chances we got still we have no chance to go vacation since we have families, our parents still need to go to work, and um, the vacation period is still not on this time, right, Leslie?
yeah, with the quarantine time right now, I don't think like
Mm.
we can go to stuff, but the rules and regulation are too strict right now for us to really
Mm.
enjoy ourselves.
Mm.
Like I could not.
Even though vacation premises had advertised their promotions, their discounts,
Yeah.
even hotels they make, I think, discount half the price for a room, but still it did not attract me to go vacation.
Yeah, I remember the time where at the first stage of the quarantine going on, remember like an airline, I remember AirAsia or Mars offer like a
Uh-huh.
really low price for going on trips,
Yeah, yeah,
one-way trip or two-way
yeah,
trip to Korea. It's like for
yeah.
like only 100 or 200 like that. And then
It
some
should
people
be
even bought
Asia.
that. Considering even
Hmm.
the quarantine going on, they still don't care. They still won't
You
even want to
know.
go out because they have the spirit, right? But what can
Hmm.
you do? There's nothing
Yeah,
much.
airlines also need to get, profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to make like that kind of promotion so the cash flow
Yeah.
still intact with the operations.
I think basically what
One
government
question. one
Basically,
question.
what we want to talk
Uh,
about. Yeah, go on, go on.
hmm, yeah. Like I have watched like Korean drama like
Yeah,
Crash Landing on You.
of course.
So we got to see the views
Mm.
of Switzerland, especially I
Yeah,
think Vienna, or I think like Vienna and the Alps.
yeah, the
I'm
Alps.
not sure, I'm not sure. But it gave me an impression of how beautiful other countries are. So I
Yeah.
want to ask you, Haziq,
Yes.
uh, what what are places or countries you are very interested to go?
Do you mean like considering this time right now, or like freestyle whenever we don't need to care about coronavirus and all that because within this time, right? I'm not quite
Mhm.
sure. So basically, you want to talk about some things that I dream of having, like going to places overseas or like in Malaysia also can count as that. Which one you would you prefer for me to say? I got many options, man.
I mm, I think in this time that we should go to local places lah. Yeah, since we
So
need to help local economy, so it
yeah,
is a great idea to help tourism, local tourism first.
I mean like whenever I see on the internet nowadays, right? Since I got nothing else to do, I see so many like experience like vlogs, right, on the YouTube or even on IGTV on many places. But there are some where they do their vlogs on some beautiful oceans in Sabah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Mhm.
take your answer, right? So basically, like so many island, Pulau Sipadan, whatever island. I mean, in Sabah or Sarawak in the Malaysian Borneo, right? I think that's a very plausible place for me to go for vacation. I don't care if
Mhm.
like if it's with family or even with friends. I think it can like very much manage for me to have good experience because I feel like since I'm a very adventurous person, I like to go on. It's my dream, to go on having vacations, riding jet skis, and all that experience because I feel like in order for me to really experience the place, I need to experience whether it's the flora or the fauna um, or the land or the seas. I need to experience all of the aspects so that I know the place really well. So yeah, I would like.
I see you are a person who take like adventure,
Yeah,
nature as your kind of tourism,
yeah. I know you are
like that.
something different than that because as I can see in our relationship, I could gauge that I'm somewhat very more adventurous. Meanwhile, you are very much into learning things, not very much on the academic aspect, but you need to learn the place. I also like to
To
learn
observe,
places.
to observe.
Yeah, we learn to different platforms. I would
Mm.
like
One example is like museums
yes,
or like art galleries, something like that.
yeah. You would prefer going on. I think this is my assumption about you. Okay, so if I would rather go swim in the ocean or something like that. And I think you would prefer observing the birds at the bird park somewhere in KL
Mhm.
or somewhere maybe in
Mhm.
Pahang in at Taman Negara somewhere like that. So I think
So,
yeah, I'm a very much
yeah,
adventurous person with enough
I'm
budget.
very more
I
to
can do wonders, man.
I'm more to leisure activity. I'm more to leisure activity, even though we need to provide more costs. I think like we need to enter like museums,
Yeah,
art galleries, or
yeah,
even like you say, bird watching.
yeah.
It is not a problem since I don't want to have do so many activities. I just want to observe. I just want to hear like that.
You want your mind to
And
be
because
quiet, but not your body.
like that, and because of that, my kind of favorite vacation
Yeah,
is to places like we can more to observing and that kind of activity rather than like experiencing. Maybe one example outside of Malaysia, maybe like uh, Paris and
Oh,
France. Yeah, yeah. Not very much activity we can do except from just walking and looking the building, like that.
photo opportunities for the Instagram and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
That's the
can
thing
see that.
about this.
Yeah, but
I think
when you go to
your
Paris,
kind
right?
is.
When
I
you
think
go
your kind
to,
of places, since you are an adventurous person, you
yeah,
should go to like Rio at Brazil or Bangkok
hey,
at Thailand.
cannot, man. I cannot go to Rio. I think it's the second or the third most coronavirus cases in the world. I will not risk myself just to have fun like that. I think
When the pandemic is already over.
I don't think it will be over very soon like that.
Hmm.
But maybe,
Talking about the coronavirus, I think we should talk more about the future of tourism,
hmm,
since the pandemic is still not still already not been curbed
hmm.
uh, as a whole, but still we need to think that tourism is still affected that generates more income to several countries. So how can the tourism will be in the next several years?
I think like in the first 2 years after this, it will slowly trying to get to the same level as before, but it won't be. Like we need to be realistic about it. We've seen cases. Yes, it's been healing in some areas in the world, but there are also some places where it's been spiking more and more and more. I think I saw like a report stated that in Florida alone, there are more cases right now in the last week or the last few days. There are more than all of the Europe combined. So I don't think like it's a very viable version for overseas trips, overseas vacation. But I think if a country really want to spark back their tourism, I think it's better if they enforce, not enforce. I mean, if they give um what they very much inspire others through like their advertisement or whatever through the internet
Mhm.
so that they could do locally when it comes to tourism. For me, that's why I mentioned about Sabah or going to the
Yeah,
Borneo because I feel like that's the viable option in the nowadays and also in the next few years. I don't really
mm,
see myself, even though I have the desire to, I don't really see myself going overseas just to have fun because we need to realize there's so much other things going on that we need to
mm,
worry rather than about our fun. It's our livelihood.
yeah,
So I think if like a country really want to spark back their tourism, like I mentioned earlier, they
mm,
should start
yeah,
advocating for more um, in in country tourism rather than
mm,
expecting people from other countries to join to come over here and explore our country because this is a very high risk low reward for me. I don't think it's a very good idea to do so. What do you think about that?
mm, yeah. I think you give a very good idea. Yeah. Since the pandemic is still over, and like our country still need to generate income from tourism, I think our own people still need to do the job. Uh, like we cannot just focus on our jobs. We still need time to relax and to have fun with our families or with our friends. So we need to together encourage the tourism sector in our nation, especially in our nation, Malaysia. Um, Talking about the progress of how things must be done, like what what age groups do you think that is most actively advocating about changes and progress? Has it?
I think it varies. There are very much many initiatives taken, but not only on one particular group, but they are also like also from the government. They are not very much on the youth side, but they are the one controlling the government. So there are many initiatives, but there are also some NGOs and also some public figure that are very much trying to make a change when it comes to how are we supposed to conduct ourselves in these times. And I feel like it is very good to have these people to become the voice of the people, uh, these individuals to become the voice of the people, so that we do have someone to look up to. And people, we move in a group. It's not like very much it's our own decision all along. We need to have some guidance for us to become
Mm.
better in maneuvering ourselves in these times. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we are now talking about teenagers,
yeah.
our second topic. Yeah. For me, I think teenagers have a very modern and progressive ideas, but still, yeah, like you said, we need to have guidance from the adults and
Mm,
from the experience, or also from the elder people.
mm,
Uh, from my perspective, the teenagers group is actually a group that is the main group from all of us that are very active in promoting like human rights,
mm.
uh, like new and modern ideas. So speaking of our experience as teenagers, how can you describe in simple words about your experience as teen, has it?
But before we get into that, I have a
Yeah,
question for you, Nezwan. So
yeah,
I would like to
sure.
ask. So you mentioned about all of the young people like speaking up when it comes in these times, how to behave in this coronavirus pandemic time, right? How do you feel like the government should react? Um, because as you can see, our economy is taking a hit, and also it is bound to be lesser and lesser when it comes to our gain, when it comes to our economic in various sectors, right? But with the young people are trying to make us behave in a very reserved manner during these times, how are we supposed to spark our economy, even with some people in these parts are trying to mention how it's very important to be at your home doing very less as you could. But at one point, one group is trying to say that we need to improve our economy. We need to take things fast when it comes to reopening back the economy. As we can see, like the situation in America, where the president is trying to push for earlier openings of the economy when it comes to the bigger markets, right? For like in New York, in Los Angeles. But there are some, not some, a lot of people are trying to be to make sure that this coronavirus go away first. Then they can do their job safely. What do you think about that?
Yeah. uh,
What are we
like
supposed to do?
economy, two different segments, like economy and also the welfare and the health of the people is two important things.
Hmm.
But first thing first, if we need to recover our economy, we should need to focus on how we can curb the pandemic, or at least minimize the chance that the virus can affect people. So our focus on health and welfare of the people should be prioritized before we recover our economy.
Hmm.
My reason is, as we cannot recover people's health, like when the cases of people die from coronavirus, but we still can recover the economy with the initiatives from the government. You know, like for example, in Malaysia we have the Penjana and Prihatin, but it is taken only after we have experienced like several months of PKP, the MCO. So it is, from my perspective, it is how the government take action on the virus. So we settle on the pandemic firstly before we can focus on to the economy. The problem is with United States is when the government uh, too energetic about uh, enlivening of their economy, but still did not give so much priority to the welfare and health of the people. Uh, like you see, the United States, even though we usually hear like recently about the Black Lives Matter, but still coronavirus is still a serious matter in that country. But uh, we are talking about teenage experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a good insight about coronavirus and the economy. Thank you.
I got more questions, but since you can move on, I'll move on also. So, yeah, you mentioned about teenage experience, right? We are still young. How's my segue? Is that right? So, basically, we're still young. We've done a lot of things, but we also are going to face far more uh, hardships, interesting things happening for us in the future, right? But I think we need to reflect back on what really that we have done during our teenage experience. For example, we went through all of the times of learning during the SPM years. For me and you, we've also managed to finish our Dengkel experience as a foundation in law students. Even though the ending was not what we expected, we still managed to go through that. So, looking back, how do you feel like um, what you've done, what you have achieved? Looking back at it, how do you feel about it? About your teenage experience?
Hmm. It takes time when I need to look back through my teenagers memories. Like in one time, if I want to see my memories during my teenagers year, it may take like half an hour, or maybe it can be stretched to several hours,
Yeah.
depending on my emotions and mood.
Are you
So
okay?
when I
Yeah, no?
so when I observe back my teenagers years, I think I can track it down to the years when I finished my UPSF, and it came down into my foundation years at ITM Lincoln.
Yes.
So if I look back, I think I can say that I am uh, half satisfied with what I have achieved,
Mm.
but still there is some spaces that I think I need to develop on.
Mm.
So yeah, I cannot say that I am truly satisfied. There is still some kind of memories that I need to change back in my teenagers.
I
Yes.
feel like I could relate to you when it comes to not feeling fully satisfied with what you've done. So I usually very much I reflect back on my decisions or of things. Oh, I could have done this better. I could have chose this route
Mhm.
instead of this route.
Mhm.
So sometimes I may be feeling a little bit down whenever I feel like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. But for you, how do you cope with that? Do you feel like, do you feel like very bad, or do you feel very down like me whenever you remember those times where you probably did make the right choice, but at some expenses?
At
What do
first,
you
I
think of
think at first I think that I am maybe kind of sad since we can make better choices. But uh, when I think enough, that I think I am confident that our own life has its own, like path.
Uh,
Yeah. So God has truly planned what is
yeah,
really good for ourselves.
yeah.
Like maybe if I, for example, if I take my studies, my secondary studies to like MRSM or to sekolah menengah kebangsaan agama, I think my future is a lot of different.
Mm,
But if I think more and more, I think there should be a problem when I study at MRSM or SMKA.
mm.
So I just be grateful. I am just be an alumni from, you know, local school, SMK,
Mm.
just a standard school.
But we know, or everything has its own cost and all that, right? But for me, I really like have some regrets that I wish I could have undo something. For example, I don't know whether I should share this or not. Should I share this regarding my SPM?
As long as it's not kind of personal, yeah.
It's very personal for me, but only for me lah. Can I share it?
But yeah,
Okay. So basically, I felt like my I should have taken the subject of admets during my SPM. I very much
mm,
regret that decision. I think like every time I think back, there's no good memories whenever I'm read. Because whenever I see my SPM certificate, I remember that at the bad times, whenever I used to feel very bad about why am I doing this right now? Why am I learning admets and all that, right? Even though it's not the thing that I feel like very much to be an element when it comes to what I want to do in the future. So sometimes when I look back, yeah, it's not very much on the I don't like someone experience, or uh, I did something bad to people. It's more like personal for me. There's nothing much going on with others. Like my friend circles are great, my families are great, but it's more towards my personal decision that I've made regarding myself. That's the very
yeah.
stuck one that I could choose from. My God.
Talking about the subjects that we take during SPM.
Yes.
So we know that like that one specific subjects can like affect our education part. So I think I can relate with your personal,
Can you
what I can
though?
say,
Can you though?
personal personal thought.
Can you relate though? I think
Yeah.
we are
So
very much different.
uh, that our education part can affect our career part. So
Oh, you
uh,
okay?
what is
I
uh
thought you wanted to
your
mention
perspective?
how a subject was detrimental towards the result. I cannot say that. You cannot say that.
I don't want to ask you that question, but uh, same question, but related lah. Do you think that students from science
Yeah.
or the like economic or accountant like that, or art students, which among them is more having more prospect during their career? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a very subjective uh, thing to talk about, because there are very much tons of subjects that we could learn when we go to university. There are like hundreds and thousands of courses, and I think like it really depends on the person. For me, I think it's my personal take. Whatever you did in SPM don't matter. For me, it don't matter if you go into foundation. What I mean by that, but it very much matter if you go into diploma or straight away degree. or some other they take courses to go into doctors and into becoming doctors and all that. But for me, through my experience, like joining foundation, even though I'm a account student learning law, right? Even
Yeah.
though we don't learn law in high school, so I don't really find a correlation between what I did in my high school and what I was trying to achieve when I was in Asasi.
Mm. Yeah.
So
I think
going back,
we took a very new experience when we take law at foundation.
yeah. So referring back to your question of going, whether which one has the better prospect, whether science students or art student, right? It don't really
Oh,
matter.
so you're gonna talking about our career part will only be affected by our foundation part?
Yes, for foundation students only, strictly for us.
Aha,
For
aha, yeah.
foundation students, it don't matter about your SPM. If you want to go into law degree, yeah. If you want to go into law degree, your foundation is the most important. But if you join foundation and not going to join the same degree as your foundation, it don't really matter as well. It's just about your
Mm-hmm.
passion. That's all I
I
think
think
so.
it is good time for us to speak about foundation years,
Yes,
especially in UiTM Dunkin, since
yes,
we both are alumni of UiTM
yes.
Dunkin. So we just got finished our study from UiTM Dunkin just several months back, but unfortunately since COVID-19, so
Yes.
we need to graduate with a very in set notes.
Mm,
There is no final examination, just like other foundations.
mm.
Metrics also have no final examination. We just have final assessment.
Yeah, Nezwan, do you
Yeah.
think that since we don't have our final examination, right, for our second
Uh-huh.
sem, do you think our result have an asterisk behind it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think like we have that?
It
Like it's
like
not the
this.
same, doesn't
Uh,
go the same way. Do you feel that?
the final assessment can give greater or worse options to someone. Like if that person cannot do much on the final assessment, yeah, that the result will be bad lah. But if that person just like strive and just like struggle for that final assessment, he can be better.
Mm. Nezwan, are you here? Nezwan, Nezwan, where are you? Nezwan, where are you, bro? So basically, what happened is like we were having a conversation, right? I guess his data ran out of he ran out of data, I guess. So basically he's he's very much still in the frame. So I don't know what am I supposed to do right now, but I, I guess his internet went off. So we were about to talk about our last topic though. It's like I don't know how to tackle this situation right now. So I guess that is that is the end of the first episode of Something with Afternoon with Nezwan, Helmi, and I. So we hope that you enjoyed that, even though we are really going to get into our stuff about what happened in Dunkale and our experience. But since he ran out of quota, I guess that's all we could talk about. So yeah, even though it's very cut short, I hope you all enjoy it and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you very much and peace out. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.